Hey, got people in the chat. Whoa, Crystal McGee. It's long
Hey.
time no see. Sweet. Let me say hi to everybody. Got Keely Chow was in here.
Hey.
Stony McInternet douche. Hello. Hey, I got my mod, Wizard Brain, aka Death Wish. How's it going, Chelsea? Oh, she's already got the link up. It's in the description as well if you want to go check out this book of Edwin the Ace, the Acevedo, Raid of the White Leopard. Looks pretty cool. I was scrolling through. Finally had a chance to look at the campaign. I'm like, shit, it's art. I'm digging it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. They did a great job on it, man. It's killer stuff.
Yeah. So have you hung out with Chris Fisk before?
Yeah, I think we've done a couple streams together.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
The Ace.
Awesome. And if you don't know already, of course, this channel's Black Angus. I am also known as METH GATOR. Yeah, rock and roll. I'm glad I haven't got dinged with any copyright thus far. Emails. I figured
I think that's short enough. It'll sneak by.
Yeah.
No, it's been way too long since you and me have talked, Edwin. I backed your book via PayPal because I missed the second chance or the second volume of the Ace. I need to review it. I have it on my art table right now. I was rereading it. Plan to do a review, and second time around, I haven't read number 2 again yet, but man, number 2 is awesome. I want to pull my camera up actually. So, oh, shit, mouse is sticking in. There we go. Yeah, hold on. Let me grab it.
That's a nice setup, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta step up my game, but I'm not trying to put that much effort into it, really.
Oh, this isn't even
the back wall. I'm like, I should do something with that. Then I'm like, yeah, I got 100 other things to do, man.
Well, I mean, this is years. I mean, the statues are fairly new, but besides Purgatory, but no. I mean, when I moved into this house, the renter asked what I want the office. I'm like, Philly green, buddy. So I'm kind of sad I don't have any direct Philly merch in the background because I got an Eagle blanket. I actually got 3 Eagle blankets on my windows. Yeah, fly Eagles fly, but the color shows it off well enough. I think.
No, that's nice. Good lighting. I like that stuff.
Yeah, I could do better. I need to do better. I need to get a better kind of. I mean, the office is weird. This whole house, every room is like squared, so it doesn't furnish well. Like I have to, however, set my TV. It's like I can only put my TV in one spot if I got an L-shaped couch. So that's really annoying. So I got like 2 recliners and a short couch that sucks if you fall asleep on it because it's like too short. Yeah. But no, man, it's good to have you around. I'm going to show this on camera. So the Ace, this is his first Fund My Comic campaign, but he has successfully funded at least twice on Indiegogo?
Yep, Ace 1 and 2 are Indiegogo. I did Bloodbone through PayPal, and now I'm doing
that. Okay,
so through Fund My Comic.
Bloodbone. Nice. Yeah, I got confused. I saw Bloodbone. I didn't peruse the campaign. I should have, but I'm like, I don't think it's for me. I'm interested in this Ace stuff and in this White Leopard. But yeah, this cover right here is Joe Ball. I don't know who did your colors, but this
Joe did the colors too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the color. But yeah, you got Kula and everybody in here. It's pretty cool. So the first time I read this, and I plan to do a more concise, just page by page review, but on reread, I have a better take, and I want you to see it directly from me, person to person via the stream. First time around, I was like, oh, man, this is flat. I'm glad I waited till I got to your second book together.
Oh, yeah.
Because the first one, it's good, but it's like I feel like it's too short, and you got too many Like you got some cool stuff for like building, of like kind of, oh, here's another little tangent in this universe, but it's like it's not enough. It's like, okay, you got to start, and I can't wait to see more. But I'm like, this didn't feel complete. I feel like should have gave more to just the story, and I don't know if this was the second time around you added more cool stuff, and I like how you have the fan art in the back, but issue 1 felt a little too clean and simplistic for me. Other people might be like, man, this is great. It feels like, you know, the start of the first few issues of Invincible. You're kind of going through the tropes of comic stories. I like how you got this like Green Lantern. Of course, I remember talking to you. You love Green Lantern. You got some Green Lantern, Iron Man kind of fusion. And it's kind of cool because it's techie, but it's alien. It's kind of a cool fusion. But it just felt like I should get more. Like, I don't know. I should get more in the first issue. But then I read issue 2, and I need to reread it to refresh my mind. Man, I was blown away by issue 2. I'm like, fuck yeah, you've ramped it up. Now you got something concise. Who did this cover?
That's Pat Maxton.
I love this art. Yeah. It's the right. It's not the same style, but it reminds me of like Mirka Andolfo. Her cover arts, or just her art in general. She has a range. This exudes, you know, sex and enjoyment of the male body as well. No homo, but just it accentuates, like, you know, the kind of Greco-Roman, you know, what we covet, idealistic bodies in comics.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it. And yeah, issue 2 felt like more concise, got a full story and still more to come. Way better. What I want to say to you personally with these 2 books, if I got issue 1, probably wouldn't have gotten 2, but because I waited and got 2 after the campaign, but I got 1 and 2, I'm like, I'm all in now.
Oh yeah,
you progressed 1 to 2.
Yeah, man. The first one, I've also felt it was
cluster or something, but I want to be honest because you got good stuff going, and I'm promoting you. Yeah,
I appreciate that. No, like I also felt the first issue was probably a little short. You know, there's a lot of stuff that kind of goes into making your first book. You know, it's kind of out of your hands in some ways. But for the second one, I knew like I wanted it to be meatier, and I think, like, you know, from everything I've heard, people dig in. I think once you go back and you reread 1 after reading 2, and you kind of get both together, I think it helps kind of add more to it. It gives it a little more readability. And then I think when you get volume 3, the table's set, and that volume 3 is gonna, you know, kick your ass.
Nice.
Hold on, I got a lot of comments all of a sudden. Let me say hi. So yeah, we got where are we? I tried the never works. GD. JRR24, bonjour from Louisiana. Yeah, again, if you want to go in the description, or if you see the comment by Deathwish earlier, you can go to the campaign on Fund My Comic for Edwin's newest book, White Leopard. We will be digging into that. Someone can introduce says, you are known as White Angus. I should totally make like a negative. See, that's more of like a rookie critic thing. Like, I'm not inventive in that way. I'm more of like a producer. I can help it, like SpongeBob, with sentence enhancers. That's what I do. It's like I can help like tweak things, or I'm like, do that. Oh man, you're on the right roll. Do this. It's but I'm not good at like just boom like that. But yeah, the White Angus could be so fun. But again, it's YouTube and, you know, white supremacy. Proud, you know. Could you get away with it? What I would want to do.
Doesn't like any fun, you know. I think they added that to terms and services, like right at the bottom. They're like, also, P.S. no more fun on here. God damn it. I gotta click on it and accept.
Yeah. Oh, hey. By the way, you have to look if it shows her like full name or whatever. I'll find the link later because I sub. But Chelsea, I guess she's uploaded before, but now she's doing more, and so I'll share her link for a channel. Help her start growing if you'll be so kind. Soon when I share that. Crystal says, "Whoa, I haven't seen your actual face before. It's been a while." Yeah, the Black Angus is multifaceted. I'm from Oklahoma, so there was a lot of Black Angus cattle around me. I'm a huge AC/DC fan, so I love Angus Young. But also, I'm Black, so when I was a kid, I wanted to be Black Angus, and so that's where the name came from. And I'm like, well, what do I call my channel? I'm gonna I'll just throw reviews on my name, so I'm not like necessarily pigeonholed. But people that know ACDC be like, hey, ACDC fan. So multifaceted. That's where you get some of the Cal humor. Yeah, he has come back from the swamp. What's up? You know it. I saw Papa Cotton in here. Hey, yeah, he said, hey. Kids. But yeah, I made a hello video for you. Oh man, I'm getting some Gator love. That's what's up. Making an alter ego who is a Klansman. That'd be that could be fun. That'd be like Clayton Bigsby. Yeah, I love. So it's funny. Just tangent with that. I want to get y'all's opinion, and y'all in chat can add as well. I think Dave Chappelle was like making that about Black Republicans, coons, if you will. And I would fit in that, I guess, because I, as politics go, I'm white, and so that was, I think, to like poke fun at my sub demographic within the demographic. We're race traders. I think that's what he's going for. But I watched that, and I think, man, this is so poignant because it doesn't matter what color you are; it matters how you're raised, what you think, and your culture, what you value. And so I've besides the humor, I find it like very insightful, despite seeing a lot of Chappelle stuff, and he's a Democrat. So
yeah,
what do y'all think of that?
I didn't get that out of it. I just thought it was probably the funniest skit I've ever seen in my life, especially when the white guy's head explodes after he reveals his helmet, and then the guy from Frontline at the very end when he's like, when asked why. Like I hurt myself laughing. Like I haven't man. In years.
It might have some sort of like subtext like that, but the good thing about I think Chappelle's comedy is like it's not overbearing with anything. You know?
That's what's great.
So
like I watch
you can take whatever you personally can take from it. It's not trying to hit you over the head with his own slants to it. So there's room, and I think that's the best comedy when it's just a little bit of open to interpretation.
Yeah, that I think about that a lot. Like I can't remember what the conversation was about. I remember in high school reading Hamlet, and I was like blown away. But then there's like this kind of conversations we were having about. Again, don't remember what it was, but I remember having them where it was like, there's always ways you can chop this story up and interpret it.
Yeah.
And the Bible, of course, like a total commie libtard could be like, oh, see, Jesus, whipped the money changers. Those are the capitalists. Or you could, of course, conservatives generally with capitalism, like, yeah, God loves America. And I'm like, but that's the brilliance of it. There's only a few things that are kind of like just dead set, unless you just omit them or try to worm around the interpretations of history. That's pretty dead set. These are, dead set things. And I think it's kind of a mark for good religion, or at least good literary art in their books. That it's not just, this is the one thing. So I like how you have come about looking at Chappelle's comedy. But yeah, let me pull up the link. Let me search for it. I had it on my phone, not on my computer.
This one?
Yeah, put the link in the chat, please. In the private chat, please. Infinitel. I have a friend named Immortal Coil, so yeah.
All right.
Bear with me, people. I had to wash my horn. Oh, Edwin, do you have a cup available? It doesn't have to be alcoholic, but we have a little tradition here on the Old Angus channel.
Yeah. Give me a quick second.
Oh, yeah. Y'all know what's coming. Stoney says, as for me, my beliefs are on the face of my work, giant spider supremacy. Ooh. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Fortunately, it won't let me copy and paste this comment, Chelsea, so don't worry about it. Finitel's Chris. Yeah, okay, you just sent it. It didn't pop up. Hey, you got a chat.
I got my Iron Man cup. You can tell I'm a fucking comic nerd. Christ.
Does
Well,
that a Jarvis like talk to you when you drink it?
That would be awesome, actually. It's just a
got a
cheap
little thing
ass
here.
7-Eleven cup or some bullshit.
Yeah. Ed, you don't know, but for Christmas, Ricky sent me a bunch of random stuff, and like half of it was like this Viking merch. I'm like, I mean,
Ooh.
Vikings are cool. We've talked about them, but like, I'm a Greek guy. I love the Greeks. And so I was like, why would he send me a Viking? And then it's like, oh, well, I'm Cal. Cal horn. Okay. And so I'm like, it's just sitting around. And I'm like, I'll incorporate it into my stream. So it's that time, people. Get your drinks ready. Let's take a swig to enjoy the night and commence.
The horn of ceremony.
Wine. Watermelon wine today. Loving it.
It tastes a lot better than my medium kind of warm malto that I just tried to sip. Disgusting. There you go.
Had the nectar of the gods, and thus
This concludes the horn of ceremony.
yeah, the horn of ceremony. You spelled his name. No, Dave Chappelle. Yeah, I just overlooked it. I knew where you were going with that. But yeah, let me share this. Go. All right, here is Edwin's book, Raid of the White Leopard. Story of a band of Vikings who get caught up in a massive storm and wash up on a mystery island. Do you want to talk a bit about it to start, or do you just want to play the trailer first?
No, I can talk a little bit about it. So basically, for give you like a quick summary of it. This originally started off as a short story I did for Alterna last year. One of my dreams coming up is I wanted to be published by a comic book company. And, I found out about Alterna a couple of years ago. They do a lot of great work. And they also have this really cool anthology series called, it came out on a Wednesday, where, you can submit pitches and short stories to them. And, if Peter likes them, he'll publish them. And so I did that. I got the first part of the story published. And it came out on a Wednesday, number 18. With an awesome Kenneth Rocafort cover, so that pat myself on the back for that.
Whoa, Kenneth Rocafort!
Yeah,
wow,
so,
that's some good shit
yeah.
right there.
Oh yeah.
So people gave me some good feedback on it, and they wanted more. So I hit up Avery to kind of tell a second part and kind of expand on the story. So here we put both of those stories together for this first issue of what I hope to be will be like a 3-issue kind of a series. It's kind of I see it as kind of like almost like an HBO miniseries. You tell it in 3 parts, and then the story gets complete.
So, knowing this information in the history of Alterna, once this trilogy is complete, are you going to try to like maybe have a complete version through yourself, or maybe through Alterna?
I would actually like it in comic book shops. I gotta talk to. I know the 656 guys have gotten a lot of their books through places like Midtown Comics and all these other shops. My dream would be able to get like a full kind of hardcover of Raid and be able to put it out through some of those online shops and stuff like that. I think that'd be pretty awesome.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. I was looking at 656. So Cryptinals, I think the artist or colorist, his name's slipping me right now, but he colored the main METH GATOR poster.
Oliver?
Yeah, Acre.
Yep.
I think it's Acre. Spelled Acre. So yeah, that guy. Great work. Great turnaround time too. Love him. I haven't really talked to them or anything. I saw Cryptinals was going like previews. I was going to stores. So I'm like, that's cool. I want to get a copy. I'm just so busy. I always forget to ask my store, or if it's past time, I don't know. I'll have to eBay it probably. But yeah, that's really cool stuff, man. I like hearing. It's funny because I don't know if it's in the Ace in the back or what, but or maybe one of your campaigns I've seen. You're like, never thought I could make it in comics, and now look at me. Now I'm making them, and I know this means a lot to you. And comics is part of like acculturating to America or English.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Definitely helped a lot of my vocabulary. Reading early Claremont X-Men. Anybody who's read Claremont X-Men, imagine trying to read that as a young Spanish kid just learning English and trying to figure out what the fuck he's talking about. You know. So yeah, so I think it helped kind of speed my ability to speak and write it. Kind of sped me up there, so I'm always grateful because of that. And yeah, comics always spelled a special place in my heart. You know, I think it's something that I want to kind of hopefully inspire somebody else to make their own kind of stories like they did me. So
how old were you when you came to America?
I was like 7 or 8.
Okay, so you're already kind of like on the Spanish track, and then you're like, gotta do English now.
Yeah, and they sent me down in bilingual classes, and hey, figure it out.
Now, was there a lot of Spanish speaking for you, or like around to kind of like fast track you a bit, or like the Spanglish kind of community in America, or was it just?
Oh yeah, the place that we live at, it's tons of like Spanish people.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, no, I like hearing stuff about like language. This guy at work told me to watch The Terminal with Tom Hanks, and I remember hearing about it and like, oh, it's boring. He's just stuck in an airport. And then I started reading into it, and you kind of spoiling the story. I was reading into the true story about this guy who was in like I think the Paris airport for I want to say like 20 or 30 years. That's what like the story is based on, and it's like a cool little kind of political turmoil affecting the citizens abroad story. If you haven't seen it, Tom Hanks. If you didn't know, I would say Tom Hanks, like you need a guy with his caliber to like pull it off, but at the same time, it's Tom Hanks, and so it stands out. Like I know that guy. That's Castaway. That's Woody. That's you know, all these other films, Philadelphia. So like his icon retroactively, which is he already had one, but it kind of overshadows his performance. That's the one like real gripe I have with that film because I'm trying to learn Romanian and like Spanish and Latin through like Duolingo, at least introductory, and I like it's fun seeing like I don't know, just the translation, seeing like the similarities and the differences.
They're all Latin.
Romanian's Latin, and so English has that root along with like German, and so you see like, oh, well, like here's their word, and that's probably where we got this word from, or like capra is a goat, and like Capricorn. So you get like this full kind of global spectrum with language, and that's why I said the terminal because he's having to pull off being like this like East Europe speaking person and trying to like figure out just quick words or hear like his country on the news and he's like, oh, okay. And he's trying to like piece it out and he's starting to like learn and it's felt very organic. It turns out his like father-in-law is from like Albania or somewhere around there. He's like got a lot of languages. So he kind of played off of like his father's dialect and stuff. Just for language learning, I think is a really cool film. Most films never address like that hindrance of communicating globally.
Yeah,
that's why you're hearing that like tidbit from you.
Well, I find it as kind of a fault of the American education system too. You know, like I've got family that are fluent in several languages. I mean, I'm a bit of a polyglot myself, but most of my languages are kind of they atrophy because of jobs. You know, like when you live in Japan, if you don't speak Japanese, good luck. You know, and when you live in Southern California, if you don't speak Spanish, you know, buena suerte. You know.
Yeah. Oh, we got a guy flapping his gums in the chat, stirring trouble.
Oh no!
2nd Street. I don't want to get offended. He's been talking about a variety of crowdfunding, like major success, like Tim Lim, Polito with Lady Death, ISOM, of course, big talk right now. I'm a fan of Biggest Problem and Dick Show and Vito, and I follow Eric too. Watch his stuff off and on. So I'm kind of right in the middle of the mix, but I haven't read ISOM. I'm starting to, and I'm definitely leaning into the Dick camp on this one. And I'm like, hey, is ISOM even worth? Because I'm kind of just, it's like The Last Jedi or Batwoman. It's one of these like, man, most of the time I'm hearing is if it sucks or not. And so I'm kind of want to see, is it a train wreck or not? I want to be in on the conversation, which is kind of sad, actually, that this is really the the state of it thus far. But I'm like, hey, is ISOM worth it? So he did like a stream, I think mostly rooted in my asking, but it probably has a backstory to it before me with this ISOM stuff. But he's showing like a plethora of like, hey, this one Lady Death was like $50 worth it to me. He's like, oh, this Tim Lim hardcover is like 17 worth it to me. And he's just showing like a broad spectrum. And it's like, I'm always going to root for like the littler guys, you know? I want to see you at 6 figures, at least 5, but yeah, 6 would be awesome. It's just something more organic, like a little guy doing this, because funding artists, I know what a steep hill it is making any of this work. And you've funded 3 times, if I'm not mistaken, 3 or 4, and now you're on your 5th. So, that's the root of it.
Yeah, no worries. To answer the question, I mean, I believe it's worth it. I believe Avery's art is fucking incredible. Just for that alone, I think it's worth the price. It is $5 shipping US. It's not like an outrageous price. Try to make it as affordable as possible without taking a loss. And I think the stories, you can still grab a copy of it. Came out on a Wednesday, number 18, for like $5 shipping. I think you can grab it off the Alterna site and kind of check out the first couple of pages and see if you like that.
Yeah.
So
he delivers. He delivers 2nd Street after the campaign. Like, hey, I just want to give you money directly. Can you ship it to me? And he's like, yep, gotcha, and get you taken care of, just like you were a campaign backer.
Edwin, I just noticed that you're a fellow New Englander. So
I am. I'm over in Western Mass.
Hell yeah, man.
Wait. Am I a fence rider, 2nd Street, or are you? Is that what you're? Oh, no, it might be. Oh, because he's talking about like funding different people that are all kind of like in their own pockets. But he's probably talking about me being in the middle of the July Dick and Vito conflict on Twitter. I mean, if anything, it's just stirring up more. Everyone's talking about, I saw him, and this helps. Super Killer. I back Super Killer. Sounds fun. But yeah. Actually, 2nd Street, we're gonna have Vito on next week. Talk about Super Killer. So get in the chat. But yeah, let's play this trailer. Or sorry, did you have more to add about the New England stuff, Chris?
Yeah, I was just going to add that that's also where Pizza Medi is. So the Alterna comic stuff that was brought up. I mean, it's nice to see that we've got some New England roots here, because a lot of times it feels very unattainable. Like, you got to go far. You got to get in a plane to go somewhere to like a convention or something. So it's great to see people within driving distance.
Yeah, man, that's a good thing about like this new era. It doesn't matter where you're at. If there's a will, there's a way. So.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. And with that, we're gonna look at the trailer for Raid of the White Leopard. Oh my god, my mouse. There we go.
Raid of the White Leopard, Book 1, is the story of a band of Vikings that get caught up in a storm and wash up on a mysterious island. Written by Edwin Acevedo, the writer of The Ace, with art by Avery Butterworth from The Lost Pages. Back it today on fundmycomic.com.
Skull!
Ooh, hey, you know what? Because like looking at the start, it just brought to mind. I don't know if you've read this. I need to reread it, but this is bringing to mind. Make sure you can see me. It's called The Black Road, The Holy North by Brian Wood. I don't know if you ever heard of this. It's from Image Comics. Checked it out at the library a couple years ago, and I was like, fuck, I need to own this because this is real. It's about a Viking too. And
Nice.
yeah, I'm getting vibes from that trailer. Like this book, which I'm like, fuck yeah. No one talks about this one, and they should. It's worth it. I'll have to do a review soon. But Butworth, man, what an unfortunate name.
It's a Butterworth, but yeah.
Oh, I legitimately thought you said Avery Buttworth. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's it worth to you? A butt's worth.
So what was the inspiration?
Oh,
for,
you know it. You know it. Heard it too. I'm not alone. Sorry, go on. Chris, you there?
Yeah. Who? I didn't know.
Oh, I thought you were asking something.
Yeah, I was asking Edwin what his inspiration was, because like the Viking stuff, like that's a pretty rich history to grab from. So it's kind of cool to hear people's like introduction into Viking stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big 13th Warrior fan. So,
Oh yeah,
you know, that's
Antonio
one of
Banderas.
my all-time favorite movies. Seen it countless of times. There's a point I could quote the whole thing from start to finish. It's just an obsession of mine. And so, yeah, I wanted to kind of tell a Viking story, but I want to kind of, you know, add some different elements to it, not just tell a traditional Viking story, you know. So the idea for the short story came to be, you know, almost like one of those M. Night Shyamalan twist, you know. So you kind of follow this story, and then the last kind of panel kind of gives you like, oh, there's more to this, and then it kind of hooks you into like hopefully you wanted to learn more about the story. So that's kind of like what the initial thought was about the first kind of short story I did.
Oh yeah. And who's the main guy there with the red beard?
That's Arik.
Cool. And he's I take it is there a specific Viking clan he comes from, or?
Basically the idea is that, you know, he's like one of these kind of like guys who's kind of very much believing in the gods and kind of like his fate, and you know he wants to do something great before he gets kind of he meets his end. So he's very kind of driven, and you see like his kind of like the Viking part of the story is very much driven through his eyes, and you kind of learn some stuff about him. You'll kind of learn more in the second issue. I think I'll dive a little more into some of his backstory, but yeah, he's basically kind of like the lead kind of person in his side of the story. So you kind of see everything through his eyes and stuff, and kind of expand a little bit more on that. But yeah, he's just a badass kind of warrior. He's a leader. He's somebody who's got the respect of everybody who's following him, and he's kind of very driven for like greatness. So it's kind of like some of his story. And then the other side is you kind of see mostly through the White Leopard's eyes. This is basically this story that it has more players, and like I said, we'll kind of introduce more of them in the second book. But the first one is very much driven by these two kind of big personalities, and kind of they're both driven by different things. So I think it's pretty kind of interesting, the dichotomy between both of those.
Yeah, I'm loving this art too, man. This looks sweet.
Yeah, man, Avery's, like I said, fantastic job, man. The pages are just, every time I get
you're going to keep it black and white, right?
Yep, this is how it's meant to be, man. He's a colorist and stuff, but once he sent me these with the gray tones and everything, I'm like, I can't touch these, man. These are it. This is can't add more to this.
Yeah, he toned that, man. Like a lot of times you'll see like some black and whites that don't have tone, and it's like, oh, this could have really used color. But when I see tone and like this, to me, this tells the story. Like you don't need that excessive color.
Yeah, it captures the atmosphere, the rain, the water swaying, the close-ups, all that kind of stuff. It's just like, this is exactly what I'm going for.
Have you watched Beowulf by Robert Zemeckis?
Is that the animated one?
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Love it.
Yeah,
especially on rewatch. I fucking love it. It's a great. I need to find any special features if it like they explain like how they came up with like this angle on the story, because like for a reason it didn't do well, and that makes me so sad, because just like the effort of like the CGI kind of Polar Express take on it, I think it's awesome. Angelina Jolie, great choice, especially at that point, like what 07. And just everything about it. Grendel, I use that film as an example a lot when I talk about like evil and nature, because what a cool idea. Because in the book, Grendel is supposed to be born of the sin of Cain, which is like the first real human sin after the fall of man with the fruit in the garden. And so it's like the origin of human sin, essentially. And it's like, if you're born of that, are you guilty of the? It's your implicit nature at that point. I think it's really cool how they portrayed him as like this freak, like essentially oversized monster infant. You know, I really appreciate that. It's a nuance. I don't think most people see that though. Yeah, I don't know. Just seeing this, like, I'm imagining like storyboards for that movie with this art. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, Second Street, yeah, I think it was on Netflix recently. It still might be on there or another streaming platform, but it's worth owning. It's a really cool take on, the Christianization of the Scandinavians and the spirit of the book and going beyond the book. Because I remember I read Canterbury Tales a bit in high school, and once I learned like the cadence of how to read it, I really like dug into it. And then I read Beowulf, and Beowulf is kind of disappointing after you see the movie because they didn't have like a cinematic, ideas of how to write this stuff.
It was written in Old English, and like the Canterbury Tales was Middle English, so it's still somewhat intelligible. There are a lot of words you couldn't get, but like you said, the cadence is off. But like Old English is like Proto-Germanic, and dude, it sounds like somebody like with an extra chromosome trying to read. Like it's like the words are just like I can't remember. It was like big, strong. He is the man. Like it's like wait, what?
Well, it's only weird because that is like I would assume Latin rooted, and even in German, some of their stuff is backwards compared to English. So English is like the bastard language, actually. So it's kind of amazing that we're like the leaders now.
Well, yeah, that's because the greatest strength of English is also its greatest flaw. We're the Borg. We assimilate every language. Like you go to like a lot of Latin-based languages, and they'll have lengthy words to describe something, whereas the English don't even bother inventing a word for it. They just take.
Oh, you mean soda?
Yeah. El disco de compactico versus CD.
Yeah, they'll be like, I don't know. I'm just ad-libbing, but it'll be like, oh, the drink that is carbonated with sugar and accent of strawberry. And it's like, oh, you mean Fanta? Like,
yeah. We had a lot of working in user interfaces. We had to do something called the German test, where you basically design your interface so that it was written for a German language because they're like 10 times the size of like English words. So you're like, oh, that fits for English, but let's see what it looks like in German. And all of a sudden, like your entire like title of your page gets blown off or something.
Yeah, you're fake news all day today, Second Street. English is a dumb language. Too many rules.
It doesn't have any rules. That's its problem. It breaks every rule. I can wait, though, in thought.
Tim says, we have great words like twerking.
They just added that to a dictionary, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they did. How sad.
I don't really lament that. I mean, it's a specific dance, if you will.
Mating ritual where place their rectum in the air and jiggle.
Well, it's funny because we've come full circle. We're back to our primal state. Because I saw a video recently. Apparently, the female gorillas, when they're in heat, they'll shake their ass.
Yes,
and I'm like,
I don't want to be a monkey.
Well, I mean, we are apes, so it's kind of fitting. But then at the same time, given the history of racism, it's kind of funny that it's mostly a black thing. Do with that what you will. I blame
culture. I don't blame race. I blame culture.
Don't blame the monkeys for their culture.
Oh, damn!
Yeah, we have a good time over here.
Actually, there's no white guys on this panel, so we're all set. We're all good. It's all good.
Yeah, it's racist. Yes. So you're what from the Boston area? Is that right?
Me, I'm from Western Mass. It's the opposite end. Nobody has the Boston accent where I'm from.
Yeah, east of Worcester.
Well, as soon as I hear Massachusetts, I'm
Or no,
just
west of-
you zone
Yeah,
in.
no, everybody thinks. Yeah, no, there's like
Boston.
the all the way at the other end.
Yeah, they're all
as
on
far
the
away from the
seaside.
Bostonites as possible.
Have you
Oh,
ever seen
kid,
that?
I'm in the zone.
You ever seen that clip from SNL with Seth Meyer, where it's like a movie about like either Boston or like Massachusetts, and he's like just saying all these like boroughs and areas around there, and it's like, how the fuck do you say that? Like,
Yeah, that's how you always test a somebody that's not from New England, is listening to the way that it's like a shibboleth, like to hear them pronounce some of these towns, you know, like Worcester instead of Worcester, or Peabody instead of Peabody, you know.
dude, I hate like Kentucky and Ohio. They have towns like Lebanon, and they'll be like Lebanon, and I'm like,
Yeah, that's-
what? I'm
that's
from
how the
Oklahoma.
accent says it.
There's a town. I didn't realize this till I got older, but it's Achilles, but they say it actually.
Actually,
So
That's
you
a new
know,
one.
some
Actually.
retard went west during the land run and founded a town, and he maybe happened to read the Iliad, and he had no one to tell him how to say these Greek names and how to accent them right. So he's like, Achilles. Yeah,
damn.
it's funny. Or it's funny because I'm from Oklahoma, and people are like, how do you say that? And it's like Wapanucka, like it's just how it's spelled. It's a little chunky because it's Indian, but it's probably Choctaw or Chickasaw, but it's not really. I don't know.
Yeah. Narragansett.
Yeah. There's something I have with the Boston thing, but you're not from there, so it doesn't matter. Never mind.
Yeah.
Let's look through this some more. So you got pretty good deal. I think it's a fair price for your digital, which is usually what I go for because it's usually the cheapest. A little steeper than other people, but $12, it's fair. So yeah, for $12 you can back this. Don't worry about shipping; it'll come directly to your email. $15 for the. Oh wait, what's the difference? Oh, you got a Canada only. Okay. Do you have different covers?
No, it's just the one cover.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah, those
sketch
are
card.
sketch card bundles. Yeah, we sold out a bunch of them. We still got a couple left. If you're a fan of Avery's artwork, you can grab one of his sketch cards. I think there's one by Passion for Drawing, one by Michael Beacon. So it'll be a sketch card and the book together. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here's one thing I was interested in because it's like Vikings. It's Nordic.
Mm-hmm.
Are there like legends of leopards? I'm just wondering how leopard comes into this. Is this like the mysterious island that you can kind of break rules with?
Yeah, it's part of the story, man. It's like a Viking story with a twist. It's not. We're not telling traditional kind of Viking story. Those are awesome, but we have to do something a little different. So we get to kind of play around with other kind of. We can introduce some pirates. We can have a lot of fun with it. So.
Okay. Oh, that's cool because instantly I'm like, all right, Viking, but it's like leopard. That's African. I know the Vikings maybe wandered down there, here or there.
That's what the legends say, yeah. All the way down there. Way to the Middle East.
Also, actually it's not so crazy because the Greeks and Romans had leopards in their artwork. So there could be some Euro blending, I guess, of stuff that they're not.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, when I actually tear apart, it's like, oh, it's not crazy that barbarians that eventually became Vikings, or I guess already were, and just kind of got discovered in history at that point, would have intermingled and maybe seen or heard these stories of like spotted cats. So it's kind of cool. It's just I don't know. So I've never thought about that actually, because more I watch documentaries about the barbarians and Romans and stuff, some more it's like, oh, like we really got a flawed view of them in general. Like they were I think it's like a romancing of history that we look at the barbarians just uncivilized, and it's like the Romans thought that, so we just carry that. Unfortunately, we don't give them the credit they deserve. Just this alone, the name, and then this cat guy is like make me think of other things. There's a value. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like when I play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I'm like, I'm playing this. I want to learn more about Greece. So it has of value beyond the entertainment directly.
Well, I wish Ubisoft stuck to their historical accuracy stuff, like in the first couple of games. And after Patrice left, it suddenly turned into let's fight giant scorpions and centaurs and minotaurs.
Yeah, I am an Okie, essentially. I mean, I'm born in New Mexico, but I moved to Oklahoma when I was like 5 until I joined the Army. So virtually, I'm an Oklahoman. But I'm in Ohio.
Cool.
Drawing. Nice. Can you give us a sneak peek? What? Okay, so this is the first. So you need another what? $900.
Yep.
Give or take to get this.
Mhm.
Yeah, you need $975. You'll be getting at least 12, if not 15, plus shipping from me. Depending on my paycheck looks tomorrow. I got a lot of deductions, unfortunately. So it's hard to project actually what my wage is afterward.
Yeah, sometimes I look at it, how much it's taking. I'm like, yeah, this is a highway robbery here.
How big this is going to be included, this poster? How big will the poster be of this Agla?
Let's see here. Give me a second here. I'll turn my camera on. It's hot as fuck over here, so
Oh yeah.
be on camera. Yeah, it's sweating.
Dude,
like
you know
a-
it's crazy? You talking about being hot? It's crazy because
It'll be that
it's
size.
like,
Oh
that's sizable. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
We did that for the first Ace campaign poster of Kula, the cover. So we'll do that for the Boob Dan art.
Nice.
Hell yeah. No, it's funny because I mean, it's nice to have like sunny green days. We've had like a month straight of like no rain. Now it's like good steady gush, probably gonna last a day or two. And it's just like, yeah, I like my weather like the Snyderverse. I like it dark and gray and depressing. Maybe some snow. And it's like what a perfect day. It's like rainy and dreary. Most people probably hate this, and I'm like, finally, none of this like sunshine and rainbow crap. And and it's like, wow, I'm having a cool, gritty looking black and white gray tone Viking comic guy on today. So perfect. The gods ordained this.
They did.
Man, I think the humidity is.
And the horn of ceremony, a Viking bullhorn. Perfect.
Scorn.
Although I don't think the Vikings had watermelon. Oh man. But yeah, getting out of the comic a bit, Ace, I like to talk with creators, multimedia and life outside of just the comic stuff. I think it's the value of my interviews with comic people, because most people are just on the book. But like, what have you been indulging in, reading wise, and film, music, perhaps? Although I don't really know any new music.
Mostly, I've been watching tons of podcasts. I'm kind of obsessed with this new UAP whistleblower guy, David Gresh. He's I don't know. I think he might be the real deal, man. It's going to be really interesting. A lot of stuff that he's saying, stuff that Bob Lazar talked about. But
is this the UFO guy?
Yeah, he used to work for the UAP program as an official capacity, I guess. And he found out, according to him, that there's some kind of black ops program that's been working on these recovered UFOs, but nobody knows about them. They're not really they're not letting Congress or anybody know about them. They just put out an interview, I think Monday, like a 1-hour interview. I think you can still find it on Twitter.
Still currently. It's funny, so I looked up the name, and this is the newest article out about this guy. So you can be a, I guess, defender of Grush if you wish, for any what you perceive as misinformation from Forbes. Claims made by quote-unquote UFO whistleblower David Grush are pure science fiction. Got a little UFO parking sign, so this guy is having a little fun with this article, and I appreciate that. Some people get so sterile in their journalism or opinion pieces, so it's already a good start for me. UFO fever has been sweeping through the internet in the wake of explosive claims made by the UFO whistleblower David Grush, a former military intelligence official and Air Force veteran who says the U.S. government is in possession of alien spacecraft. Grush recently appeared on News Nation to elaborate on his claims, interviewed by journalist Ross Coulthart. The past few years have seen the fringe beliefs of UFO enthusiasts spread from the Rogan Experience, which I highly suggest you watch Rogan, even when he gets on the UFO stuff, to the New York Times and the Guardian, imbuing UFO mythology with a newfound sense of legitimacy. I don't know why they're advertising this like Kung Fu Chicken, but I kind of want it now. If I can find that link again, I will share that in the chat because that just looks awesome. It makes a real statement at a party. During his News Nation interview, Grush offered no evidence for his extraordinary claims, so that his information comes from several sources. All right, so you see how this guy's like undercutting. All right. Grush confirmed that he had not personally seen any of the spacecraft, but has seen some interesting photos and read some very interesting reports. UFO skeptic Mick West released an excellent response video to Grush's interview that delves into the details of his claims. Notably, most of Grush's claims contain illogical assumptions popularized by science fiction tropes. While sci-fi can offer a glimpse into the imagined future, the genre often reflects the cultural anxieties and technological limitations of the time period in which it is conceived. Grush claims that the U.S. is in possession of multiple vehicles or spacecraft constructed by a non-human intelligence, that their existence is being concealed from the public. Grush says that these spacecraft have either landed or crashed on Earth, and that both the U.S. government and defense contractors are currently working to reverse engineer the technology. Ace, you can interject any time to like counter this article.
I'll start number one. They want proof, right? They want evidence to prove claims. I just heard a lot of claims there, but no proof.
From
Does that only work
this
one way? No, this piece claiming that it's all science fiction. I mean, like, is there a link where I can go to and verify that?
Well, they did share a link of a response video. Let me click
Yeah,
on this
the Mick guy who's loves to. He's personally a UFO, I guess, debunker. That's like how he makes his money. I guess he's credible, but people who apparently believe in the UAPs aren't. Is that what he's trying to infer?
I guess so. So looking at the video, it's 45 minutes roughly. Here are some of the chapters. Lack of evidence. Background on Grush. Extraordinary claims. Aliens have murdered humans. Football-sized TARDIS. It's Italy, 1933 to 1944. Vatican. Uh-oh. The Catholic Church is in on this conspiracy. Vast conspiracy. I have no idea any actual UFO conspiracies tied with the Catholic Church.
I'm sure there are a couple. I mean, there's a lot of Vatican conspiracies.
Well, I mean, just with the Abrahamic faith, there's the, what Ezekiel angel that is described. There's multiple. There's one in the Bible. If not the Bible, the like Indians, Indians, with their like wheel thing. And given the lack of scientific knowledge and mechanics back then, if it was UFO, maybe they're just writing what they could describe without any knowledge of levitation or whatnot. Yeah. Oh, one chapter is called The Woo, parentheses, paranormal.
Woo! Ric Flair.
One is Congress should investigate. Another one is Do the Math on Crashes. So I guess he's just pulling up different. Seems like he's, I don't know, it's got like 25 chapters, and it's all like kind of stacking.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
that's
I've seen the guy's act. He's basically he's basically the anti-UFO guy. He basically is based off his name and fame of trying to debunk all this stuff, which is cool. I mean, good luck to him, but don't use somebody like that as proof of anything, because he has no more proof than David does. If you're gonna just keep it 100 here.
In the chat, let me know. Are you pro or anti? Well, no, that's not a good way. Do you believe or not in UFOs? So if I said you're pro or anti, it's like, well, I believe in them, but they should go the fuck away. Like,
get them out of here. Get them out of here. We don't need them.
No illegal aliens. Literally aliens. Like, I wish there was a sign like that where it's like they're protesting, like the aliens have come. And it's like, no illegal aliens. No, really, aliens.
Cracking me up about this is every time I watch like a lot of videos or getting people's takes on this, I go into the chat just to see what people are saying. And you keep hearing these same statements over, well, we want proof. Where's the proof? I'm like, you're the only one who wants proof? So let me get this straight. Your stance on this is that you want proof. Thank you for adding absolutely nothing to the conversation. Like, I like that kind of mindset to me, like whether you believe or you don't, saying stuff like, I want proof or I want evidence is the single most meaningless thing you could add to this conversation. Because nobody, including David, would disagree with you. So, like, I mean, can we at least have some sort of response or some sort of like actual like intelligent something? Then the meaningless, I need proof. Like this is literally, I have seen that for days, and that's the number one response to anything. It's not
you need to tie your Ace Comics Group label to UFOs. You really need to like make this part of your channel of like videos covering this, not like streams. You need to like, try to get the UFO people like, hey, if you believe, buy this comic.
Don't between UFOs and ancient technology, like I would never write comics again. Like I can't go down that rabbit hole, man. Like, I've seen so many Graham Hancock and Randall Carson videos. Like literally, that's all I watch. Just like give me more of this ancient Egyptian technology. Just give it all to me, man. Forget about anything else.
So I'll admit I've not looked into it at all. Essentially, like, when I was younger, I'd be like, ooh. There'd be some sort of like video like, ooh, there's proof or this thing or, this person who's abducted and their story. That would really like, ooh. And I just like, no, this is a marketplace that people are like hungry for any, like, there's a famous, like, footage of like an autopsy. And it's like, this is fucking fake. People bringing out like, well, the clock, like, look at that and this and that. So that was one where I'm like, oh man, this is, damn it, I believed, But no, honestly, I have a very just atheistic view of aliens. I believe there are other Earths that may have life to our, animal level at whatever state they are, however old they are, whatever. But I watched this thing when I was in an astronomy class about the Fermi paradox, and if you don't know, or if people in chat don't know, Fermi paradox, essentially this equation made by, I think, an astrophysicist, some scientist, about like, all right, if we know this many planets in the universe so far and stars, and assume they have their own, solar systems, whatever, you kind of make like a big number of planets, and then you start downsizing it based on all these like correct conditions. It's like there's still an infinite amount of possibility of other Earth-like planets in the Goldilocks zone around a sun to sustain life. And that's only the life that we understand, based on carbon and sunlight and water. We don't know if things could be surviving in like mercury or whatnot, ice, whatever. Europa is a great example of like what's under the ice. Is anything under the ice? But so I'm not counter to life in the universe, but I just don't think there's anything intelligent. And one of these things kind of have this kind of pessimistic view, or offering a pessimistic view of like, it appears maybe that life is just to get to like a human level intelligence, or even probably like orcas, dolphins, dogs, octopus, these kind of more sentient creatures. It seems like just all the conditions to facilitate it are so much random factors. Like it seems like maybe fire and a complex diet are kind of like sparks for humanity to break away from our ape cousins and build on the intelligence already there. It just seems like such a crapshoot, and also evolution does not facilitate the smartest animals. They facilitate the best adapted. So you can be a really smart handicap, essentially, and you're not going to survive long. Just all that. I think we might actually be the aliens in the making. I think we are the first that has reached this kind of arbitrary invisible threshold. We don't quite know when we break through it, but we've gone past it, and we have this secondary awareness, not just of like our own species, but of what else is there that could be like us or better. Part of that's kind of religious, I think, and implicit in our species. I just think we're screaming into the void. I think we're looking for ourselves ultimately. Our counters, like, they're not there yet. I think it's just a sad state of our intelligence that we're lonely in a way, and we would like a match, a rival, or a friend, whatever the case. I think we're longing for something that isn't there, and we're wanting it largely. And I just don't buy it. So there's nothing compelling thus far to me.
It's an interesting take. Like I said,
If these aliens,
I respect
if these
wherever people are at. My problem, like I said, it's a lot to do with kind of like these people who everything is a psyop. Yeah, I know you just learned this psyop word, but not everything is a psyop. And yes, we all want evidence.
Well,
Like, yes, as long as you can actually offer something like you just did, I respect that. But like I said, I've been kind of deep diving this for the past week, and how many people, and at first I thought it was the same bots. But I'm seeing all these different accounts of people saying the exact same thing, but wording it in a different way. So, it's different people, but they're all saying the same thing. We want evidence. And, it's just like, you're not adding anything. And that's what just makes me shake my head.
It says something here in the article about like, Grush hints that some of the aliens were malevolent and have even killed humans. Grush also implied that there's some kind of secret agreement between the government and aliens, and that people have emerged to protect the secret. Like, I don't know, just with the fact of interstellar travel to get here from wherever they are. I think to have that much intelligence, you'd probably have weaponry, of some kind, or something that could be weaponized against foes, even if, like, they're like a peaceful race that has harmony or whatever, some Star Trek utopian planet. I think they would have to be aware of nature in general, and even if they're like vegans, they have to like get strapped to like not have a space bear attack them or whatever. So I don't think like with the intelligence implied with aliens, the fact that the government's like, all right, well, like, we'll give you hush money, just like keep yourselves quiet. Like,
what if they're the ones?
What the hell does money mean to an alien? That like, just all the power implied in their ability, just technologically, we're infinitesimal to them. There's no reason to even barter with us. They would just take over. Or we're infinitesimal. Like, man, they're so just basic. We're at this whole higher plane of existence. That's the other thing. If aliens are real and we're screaming out for them, I think we're just so insignificant. We're so primitive. It's like, not answering that call.
No, we could be the ant farm. You know, we could be an alien ant farm. You know, that's why they're not wiping us out, is because we're interesting to them.
It says, I believe that intelligent life exists in the universe other than humans, but I don't believe they are visiting and crashing. Yeah, also, why are aliens so fucking bad at driving? That's the other problem with this UFO crash
I
stuff.
don't know, but they could all be women, you know.
Oh God, DWA in space.
Oh my God, even, intelligent interplanetary beings, the women suck at driving. That's hilarious. Dick Masterson would love that idea. Oh my God. Oh yeah, let's continue diving in. He said some spacecraft were very large, like a football field kind of size. See, also they're quoting very large, like a football field kind of size. Like that sounds. They're probably quoting from like an interview, and he's just trying to give you an example or quantify how enormous. But they quote like kind
A
of
lot of this
sounds.
stuff is actually also some like theories and stuff. Like he's not making that he has proof of all this stuff. So like when you just piece that out and act like, well, he made claims that so and so, yeah, he was giving a theory on what he believed. He didn't say I have proof of this. So
Now,
there's just a lot of ways to play the games here.
So he says Garcia that the vehicles were not necessarily extraterrestrial and speculated that they might come from another dimension, saying as somebody who studied physics, where maybe they're coming from a different physical dimension as described in quantum mechanics. So I've never looked into multiple, beyond the third dimension, any of this stuff. So I have no idea of what is being discussed about these other planes of existence. But I think that's actually an interesting thing on my kind of evolutionary biology interest, because like eyes go back to like bacteria, like they have like these eye spots, and it's really like photosynthesis receptors. They're not even like, they're not seeing like you and me see with eyeballs. Eyes are like a newer evolutionary thing as we understand, but it's like those bacteria were existing at a lower, and I guess still are existing on a much lower level of existence, even if they're still in 3D or whatever.
Mhm.
So I think that's also a fact. Like, what are we not seeing? Bugs they can see like these different spectrums of color, and that has its own benefits. On top of their brain has to be wired totally different to have like these almost 360 detecting, eyeballs.
Oh yeah.
So, or whatever you call the eyes of a bug. So I think about stuff like in that way, where it's like, what are we not? So that leads the plausibility in my very skeptical view of like, well, I mean, we're only at a state of existence. We don't know how far we could advance or degress. So
What's your take? Dude, what's your take on the simulation theory?
Simulation, is it kind of like the Matrix or something? Like we're all just like in a program where we're NPCs.
No, we're not real people. We're actually programmed. Every aspect of our lives has been programmed. Everything about us.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess if you're like a god and can do that, sure.
Well, there's no difference between God and a master architect and a computer when you get to technology that's beyond our comprehension.
Yeah, I don't know, given the infinite multitude of humanity through time and all the like inconsequential people that just like, punch a clock at McDonald's and that's their existence, and they go home and they drink a beer and whatever. What a waste of time. I don't think like, I don't know, there has to be some free will in this, like I have kind of like with that idea. It's like a watchmaker. I think if we're in a simulation, there may be key players or key points that are programmed, but then it's like, unlike a video game where it's like you have to program everything to function besides glitches. Everything's still operating within like very small parameters. A god would have potentially an infinite ability to factor in all these things, have programs for what we think is arbitrary free will. But I don't know, with just looking around, I think there has to be free will even in the simulation. I don't think it's
But what
completely
is free
programmed.
will? Free will is a decision based on information you received. Without that information, you can't make that decision unless you're
Sure.
just making random decisions.
Right. I don't have enough intelligence to like argue this. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sorry, that's some nerdy shit. But yeah,
Right. No, it's like I totally out of my wheelhouse with like really arguing against it. But my intuition says no.
because like I've read some theories about that, and like that explains supernatural phenomena because it's all just malfunctions or bugs in code. But and also the idea of something called level of detail, where
That's what the loaves and fishes was. It was a glitch in the Matrix. That's actually a hilarious like a vein of thought to play with, like miracles. If it's simulations, like, oh, Jesus was just like one of the main players in the game of like an era.
Yeah, he was an admin. Yeah, he was a moderator, and he just used the God mode hack.
Glitch. Oh, I only had 2 loaves and 5 fish in my basket.
Gonna do the duplication bug.
Jesus was a hacker.
well, there's a theory about that, and the one that I find interesting is that of all the animals on this world, humanity is the only disharmonious being on this planet. And there's this theory that humanity is actually an alien seed that was planted here. We're not a natural evolution. We actually jumped out of that spectrum.
Oh, like Alien Covenant or Alien Prometheus?
Kind of like that. But Prometheus was kind of the full architect of the entire world. He's literally on a barren planet, and he drank the black ooze, and it created everything. Whereas this is more of a alien saw us, and they saw a bunch of monkeys, like the proto whatever, the Homo erectus, or not even that, maybe something else. Like,
whoa, this is a family channel. Careful.
Well, they saw it and said, let's bestow godhood onto these things, or let's bestow, humanity essentially onto them. And they elevated our brain because you can see that we share a lot of chromosomes and genes with a lot of these different species. But it's like we have this weird cauliflower mutation in our brain that gives us an extra brain on top of our real brain. Like we have the primitive brain, which all animals have, and then they have a cerebral cortex, which is like a quarter of the size of ours. Everybody, like humans, just have this obscenely large brain.
Yeah, but then you think about like octopus, and like they have not been able to get to our level, or even like beavers, but each limb has its own brain system essentially.
Yeah.
And
so our entire nervous system is a brain.
Right. And so it makes you think like, well, what is the right body of like, I think Carl Sagan guessed if not apes, it'd probably be octopus that would evolve to be our level or higher.
Yeah, they're pretty smart. It's disturbingly scary.
Well, it's scary because they mimic other animals for intimidation of predators on them, but they do it, and it's like you can like follow them from birth, and these octopus somehow know this natural ability without ever actually have seen some of these creatures they mimic. So it's like, what does that mean? Are they encoded with like this complex knowledge of defense of like, oh, if I'm scared, pretend to be a sea snake, like, or a lionfish. It's like, oh, how would you, it's like they have a knowledge that they've never experienced. And that's
it's
just
a genetic encoding. It's the whole premise of the Assassin's Creed game before they went extra chromosome. The original Assassin's Creed, that's what it was all about. Was they found in the not too distant future, they found this technology where they could actually delve through somebody's brain to get to their genetic coding to unlock, ancestral instincts or ancestral memories. And that was the whole concept. And they put this guy in this simulation. Like the Assassin's Creed game wasn't you playing Ezio to go kill people. It was you to mimic exactly what Ezio did during his time period to sync up the machine to get all that information. So they could say, okay, that's where this item was hidden, or that's where this treasure is found. Like that was and there is proof of that. It's something in our haplogroup. So it's DNA passed down by our dads. That's why we need a male to reproduce.
Yeah, no, the male gene is fucking chromosome is a weird mutation. And it's funny because like if you're bald, you got that from because of your dad, because you had no secondary X chromosome to cancel out what your mom is carrying in her genetics.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, what? Like it's kind of funny. Sort of, you see it in most animals, like patriarchal systems, or like they dominate, even if they're like solitary creatures. And it's like, oh, it's just weird that like this gimpy mutation somehow is the more superior sex of almost all species.
Well,
It's just weird.
I think the all that extra the stuff that's in the non-mutation, all that extra bit, I don't think that's actually. I think that's just all dedicated to reproduction. I think that's all it is, and I think that's why the XX chromosome is larger and contains more information than the XY. But where the XY thrives is that it's not burdened by all that garbage. It's literally burdened on how to survive, plan, and expand.
Sorry, I was reading. Its comment. It says outside of aliens just landing and saying hello. I think he's following up with his comment. He says, "I am a man of faith. I have faith. Kung Fu chickens will protect us should aliens want to start some shit. My computer technology is now muddying up the water. Fake videos are trying to look like realistic. So if we see a real video, would we even believe it's proof?
No.
Very difficult task.
No.
Like I said, everybody using the word psyop now, like become like doesn't really matter. You could try it out in Alien.
Yeah,
my request.
CNN and people will be like psyop.
Yeah, until you see it. Yeah, until you see it with your own eyes. Yeah, you can't trust what's on like the AI voice.
Until that alien probes me, I will not believe.
Until my rectum is penetrated by a giant alien.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like the doubting Thomas. And then the alien will just pop up in my room like dark skies and there's tentacles ready.
Aliens will be like, man, we had to do all this stuff about kidnapping, and we should have just told them to line up. And these aliens, these monkeys will line right up for us.
It's like Velma and the rape ghost. Like, oh no, all alone.
Oh, oops, I dropped something.
Yeah, and the rape ghost is like, ugh, nah. Like,
the aliens are like, I don't need to probe that ass.
Which is funny because, like, I always thought, Daphne's like obviously the redhead, bombshell, but Velma's like she got like the kind of like librarian sexiness to her. You don't appreciate it right away. You get older, like, actually, I'm kind of digging Velma. Well, and then now it's like everyone loves Velma. It's like, go fuck yourself. I was here already.
What was it, Linda Cardellini or whatever from the live action Scoobies? I thought she was a lot hotter than Sarah Michelle.
Oh, I agree, but I don't think it. Me and Ricky talk about this a lot, and it's because of Instagram and OnlyFans and Twitter, all this stuff. It's like now we see the full world's potential. Before it was like you had to rely on Hollywood entertainment. And it's so funny looking back just 10 years ago. Like, God, we thought she was hot mid. And I look, it's like, man, they thought Velma was hot back then. Even back then, she looked like like an average mom. Pass. Like, if like, that's your Hollywood starlet. Now, like Jennifer Love Hewitt, now that's like,
hey, now
that's consistent. Angelina Jolie, that's not just like Hollywood engineering. That's like, well, no, she's insanely gorgeous. But generally, it's funny looking back retroactively with new technology the aliens have given us of Instagram and OnlyFans to see like, oh wow, that's what's hot.
Yeah, the market has expanded.
Yeah, I'm very glad. But no, if aliens want to prove to me they're real, I challenge them to free Palestine. That's my gauntlet thrown down. Free Palestine.
It's not gonna happen because I'm already part of the aliens. I'm part of the reptile people.
They were here the whole time.
That's right.
That's how they got out of World War II.
Oh man!
Oh my God, dude, that's like Chappelle. He did the whole space Jews joke.
Yep.
And it's funny because I remember on top of the transphobia, there's a couple people that bought onto the anti-Semitism with his kind of timely jabs at Jews with Palestine and the Space Jews gag. But that didn't catch because that wasn't trendy like the Netflix trans, protests and all that.
Yeah, I honestly, like, if you get offended by a comedian, like, that should be like a wake-up call to you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm throwing a tantrum because Funny Man made me angry. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that should be a moment of introspection. You know?
Why are all these people laughing? It's not funny.
Like, yeah, it is.
Oh, dude, there was a
funny
funny
to
clip.
invite one of those people to like a concert and just put a camera on them.
Yeah.
Just film them like the whole show is just you hear the jokes and then their reactions as they're outraged.
Dude,
standing there fuming.
Everybody else laughs around them.
I had a fairly big tweet a year or two ago on the I can't remember if it was the closer. I think it was a closer because like half the show was a trans joke. Like the second half of it was like a long. It was like sort of like a homage to the trans comedian that killed herself.
Oh,
but yeah, because like he talked. If you haven't watched closer, essentially he had this like trans comedian like up and coming. She was trying to like build herself, and I don't know if I've never like looked her up to see any of her stand up if it's out there, but she somehow became friends with him and would be like an opener sometimes, and he's like helping kind of coach her, train her up and stuff, and letting her go through the ringer and work on her skill as a comedian. And I guess because association with him or saying like you can tell trans jokes or whatever she was saying had the fucking alphabets after her, and she just couldn't handle it, so she killed herself. She being, biological male. Yeah. If any people see this or hearing it now, like, oh, a man killed himself, whatever. She killed herself, and from the, feeling betrayed by her own community, I guess. And so, yeah, it's like he kind of helps her live on through his show, but he, while also being critical, and saying like, well, I'm a TERF like J.K. Rowling, you're doing gender blackface, but also, homaging her. And it's funny because at one point I took a picture of my TV because everyone's just having a good old time or, listening. And there's like these two fat fucking white they-thems or whatever the fuck they are, just looking like.
That was what Edwin was saying. Somebody was filming these two people in the crowd just doing their Karens.
it would just have me the camera angle when they're like cutting, and I saw it and I'm like, look at them, look at them, capital T them in the audience. They are not laughing with everyone else. I wonder why.
Yeah, if you can't laugh at yourself, then you've got a problem. Like, dude, you know what I mean? Like look at Family Guy, okay? Seth MacFarlane. Well, the one who wrote all of those Jew jokes, the one that wrote Mort Goldman and all that stuff, that was Alex Bornstein. Yeah, Alex Bornstein's as Jewish as they come, man. She's part of the
best
tribe.
Jew jokes come from Jews.
Yeah,
or Nazis.
If we can laugh about that, then why? You know what I mean? Like, nobody is above comedy, and if you are, then there's something wrong with you. You want to be a protected class.
Yeah. So long story short, audience, is free Palestine. I'm not really fans of Israel or the Islamic community in generalized Islamic community, Arabia, whatever. But I know what the deal was supposed to be for that country, and you've robbed those Palestinians. So let's play fair, That's all I'm saying. It's like I'm being objective. It's like, honestly, fuck both of you. But
yeah, well,
50-50.
I've had a rabbi that is basically like Israel is an affront to God because it's the Messiah was supposed to come. You're basically creating an artificial thing. The Messiah was supposed to create Israel, and if he's not, if the Messiah didn't come and do that, you're actually forcing a hand. You're artificially forcing something that was, not ordained. So you're kind of working it like that's their reason or justification why there's so much strife there,
Well,
'cause
it's
it
bitch
wasn't
made.
God that did that.
For being honest, Israel's bitch made. Like, not their current military. That's all cool. Like, they lead the way. I really respect the military aspect of Israel. Their preemptive warfare, the 6-day war, that's some badass shit. But
Yeah, everybody's
like,
got to be a soldier there.
I wish America was like Israel in that regard. Hats off to you. You know, being objective. But yeah, the nation, how you came to be, it's bitch made. It's you know, you're made from victimhood, and people like, here's Israel. Maybe it was a way to like, oh, what do we do with these people? Here, just get them, put them over there. Not our problem. Maybe that was also an angle. Maybe that's also an angle. I don't know. But yeah, honestly, it's bitch made how they got it because other people did it for them. It wasn't their own coalition that earned it. And reading the Old Testament, even if it's like a Christianized Old Testament, you read the Old Testament, their half of the book, you know, God's very black and white about, you know, earn your keep or you'll be a slave. Essentially, that's like that's the ebb and flow of the Hebrews in the Bible. And, you know, it's a very masculine, red-pilled half of the book is the Old Testament. And that's why I say it's bitch. It's very effeminate. It's like what women do, you know, they're tired of you. So then they get a new guy and then they try to get you to like that new guy to like beat you up or kill him.
They can't drive spaceships. You know.
Oh my God!
It's the
backseat driver.
You sure this person who wrote this Forbes article isn't a woman?
Yeah.
I wonder if aliens are trans.
Well, I never understood the concept of trans in fantasy, like in the Harry Potter where they gave like a female character like a male voice and stuff, and it's like, dude, you're in a universe where you have like the polyjuice and shit. Like you could literally wave a magic wand and be whatever the fuck you wanted to be, and these people are like, no, we got to put in a girl guy. It's like nobody wants to be that. They're trying to transition from one thing to another.
Well, I think if they had a just direct potion like boopity bop and I'm a woman now, that would be us on the right, on the current right. If you're, you know, like someone like Chris Fisk, I think you fit in the right generally.
Really?
Generally, yeah.
I don't know.
From talking with you, yeah. Today, I'm saying about today.
Oh yeah, well, anything left of Stalin today is right.
Right. Stalin would be on the right today. Like,
oh God.
You know, that guy's all about, you know, doing your duty to your country, you know, not like fucking liberal arts degrees.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like, damn it, that tangent just, you sidetracked me. Where was I going with that? Help me backtrack.
You were talking about the potion.
Oh yeah, the potion. Stalin really took me for a loop. Yeah, I think us on the right would make that a meme. It's like, this is what you think your pronouns are. It's oh, I'm a woman today. Like, because there are people that do like, well, I wear these like masculine bracelets, and that's how my friends know to call me these pronouns. And it's like we would meme that because
well,
like
this, it should be memed. It should be ridiculed. That's ridiculous. You know,
Speaking of memes and comics, Ed, do you follow? Sorry, I don't want to offend you. Is calling you Ed offensive to you?
Yeah, I hate Ed.
Okay, Edwin. Well, because like I have a full name, but I go by a short, like friendly version that I prefer. But like my mom hated that, so I never got that from her. It was friends, and that became my name. Anyway, so Edwin, do you follow Stone Toss Comics?
I don't believe so.
So he does from 1 to 4 panel comics, and they're usually related to socio-economic politics. Brutal. And yeah, he's done a Harry Potter one where it's like, oh, our trans students are doing so great. Look, they're learning to levitate. But like, you see like a wizard student, only their body is like hanging. Because, you know, the whole suicide rate issue in that community. Or like he did one of Thanos where it's like, finally, it was
Spider-Man.
Yeah, he did that one with Spider-Gwen, where it's like,
I think I've seen that.
Right, that's a recent one because of Spider. He did a new one that is pretty spicy, and honestly, kind of sums up possibly the goal of the not villain but antagonist of Spider-Man 2. I will share this really quick. Got many tabs. Here we go. Share screen. Here we go. So you got Spider-Punk, and he's like, "Are you serious?" And then there is Spider-Man 2099, George Floyding Miles Morales. He's like, "What?"
Oh God. Damn. Oh shit.
Pretty wacky.
But wait a minute. Only white people can be racist, and the only white guy here is the Spider-Punk.
No,
Yeah.
Spider-Punk's black in the cartoon.
Oh, they made him black?
Made him black, and he's got like sort of like dread braids.
Oh God. Well,
Honestly, so I hate Spider-Punk from. I've never read comics of Spider-Punk, but I hate Spider-Punk in the film because it just feels like a gimmick character, you know, with like the like horn, mohawk,
spiky,
and the guitar, and you know, like it just doesn't feel. It feels pretty stupid. It just feels like a gimmick character. It's not even about like race swapping, which I didn't even know it was race swapped. Whatever. But yeah,
I'm so
and then
out of the loop on Spider-Man. I've never heard of this character.
Yeah,
I
I had a toy of him I got on sale years ago, and I ended up making money on eBay from him. So that's my experience with Spider-Punk before Spider-Verse 2, which is an awesome movie, by the way. Aside from, you know, whatever demographic pandering and BLM trans, you know, imagery.
Oh God.
Literally people were triggered because Spider-Gwen has a protect trans kids flag like over her door that you barely see in the movie.
It's like vegan cats.
And Miles Morales has a BLM tag on his backpack. Now, aside from regardless of, you know, reality, that there is, you know, political pandering with that inclusion, but they don't ever address it. It's just there. And also, I think, to be fair, is it far-fetched for a kid, a teenager coming into adulthood who is a super person, and they even make a little montage of Miles Morales like going through his stages, catching up from the first film to this film. He's grown a bit, and it's like he's trying to have a mustache, and then he apologizes to the fans for the mustache, and then something else he tried for his suit, and he apologized for that. You know, it's like, oh no, people hate it. I'm getting canceled for. It's not even for like, you know, real infringements, but you know, people are like, ew, boo that, and so he's like apologizing. That's kind of funny because it's like meta to today, but it's not really far fetched for two spider people in New York to just actually be pro BL, especially a black Puerto Rican kid from the Bronx. I don't think it's far fetched that that kid would be pro BLM in a Democrat state, in a heavily Democrat city, being a demographic that they pander to politically.
Man,
you know,
that's why I don't want to see it. Like I just noped out because it's like I don't care. I don't want to see it. You know, it'd be the same way if somebody was black, was like saw like some freaking Viking thing, and they're like, I don't like these white people and their white people shit. They totally can. That's them. You know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. To be outraged, I think is a real stretch, especially seeing the movie. I didn't see anything political in the film that was like preaching to me, and it's like the inclusion of that. Like, yeah, it'd be good if it was all encompassing and, you know, positive or neutral. Like, oh, here's a MAGA citizen. Here's a fucking Gadsden flag guy. Here's a because his dad's a cop. So if there's like back to blue, man.
Oh,
like,
you heard about that? They had to apologize because of the pro cop messaging.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea. But yeah, in the film, there's, you know, it'd be cool if it was all encompassing neutral. I don't have a problem with the inclusion of I don't like the trans agenda and whatnot, especially when you're saying, you know, protect trans kids. That's a whole argument. But the inclusion of that being in the world, I don't think is far-fetched. That's kind of my point with that. And so, like, I don't think that should preclude you from going to see this film. I think we're getting so itemized, like Garth Brooks. Oh, it's a controversy because Garth Brooks is saying, I'm going to serve Bud Light and you can go somewhere else if you don't like it. I think that's totally a fair statement.
Yeah.
That's not really.
But the open market also fosters the people that do go out somewhere else, if they don't like it. Like, that's why I like free markets, because, like,
he's pretty much saying, like, well, if you don't like that, go somewhere else. And if that undercuts his business, like, all right, but he's trying to be open to everybody. And so.
Yeah, I know I've grown intolerant. I guess that would be a good word for it. I have a nope list. If you've ever seen that
atomized, that's the word I was looking for.
If you've ever seen that Matt Berry skit where he, like, tries to stay out of the friend zone, he, like, tries to court these ladies, and then as soon as they mention their boyfriend, he's like, fuck you, and he just, like, leaves. like that's pretty much me. With as soon as I see the woke shit, I'm like, okay, you're not having my money, see you. Like, there's no outrage, there's no anger. I'm just like, nope, I don't want to see it. You want to throw BLM, you want to throw Transformer stuff, good. For the people who like it. For me, nope, you lost me as a customer.
Wait, what was wrong with the new Transformers?
No, I'm talking about, like, Target, when they were, like, selling, like, baby tux stuff. Like, it's like, okay, if that's their market, then they clearly don't want me. See ya.
Isn't Pete Davidson the new Transformers? That should be enough reason to boycott.
Yeah.
I made a joke. because, like, normally any promoted advertisement tweets, I block them. Yeah. And it's incessant. It never stops. There's always advertising on Twitter, which is fine.
Come back.
But I block them. But I saw Transformers advertise, and they showed a clip of, like, Pete Davidson recording, and so I just commented, Pete Davidson, yeah, I'm definitely not. I was like, definitely not seeing it now. And I had, like, a ugly, like, Pepe just looking like gross. Like,
what is this appeal?
People are loving that comment, and it's like, no, actually, I'm going to go see Transformers. I'm probably gonna go tomorrow. Actually, I'm not, like, a follower of Transformers. I never grew up with a cartoon besides Beast Wars, and I tried to rewatch that recently. It's like, it's so for little kids. Foundation. It's too cringe to watch.
Yeah.
But the concept Beast Wars, my favorite toy growing up, aside from, like, Star Wars Legos, was Cheetor from, like, the Beast Wars line. I think it had, like, a bug guy too. But yeah, like, I love the concept of Beast Wars and Transformers. I don't expect high art aside from the actual just digital, creation of these Transformers. So I know what I'm getting into. I'm going, it's like Fast Furious shit. Like, I'm not seeing that, but I can turn my brain off for fucking Transformers punching each other and doing cool CGI stuff.
Talking about Fast and Furious, I haven't seen the latest one, but I saw, like, a clip from it. Is Vin Diesel now all CGI?
Oh, apparently I was watching this random video about Fast and Furious, and apparently, I guess Statham and Vin Diesel had, like, clauses in their contract that they can't lose. And so they had to, like, write that crazy, like, earthquake bullshit. Like, Vin Diesel just, like, stomps his foot and it collapses like a parking garage, and then he, like, jumps into a chopper. It's fucking stupid. But if that's true, that makes total sense. Like, wow. And then apparently he's really pissed at Jason Momoa for stealing the show in his movie. I've heard Jason Momoa is, like, the best part, that it's, like, stupid. Oh, it was I think Movie Overload's the channel. I'll find it shortly.
That's awesome. That's like catty girl shit.
But yeah, it's real high school shit going on with the Fast.
These are like 40-year-old men.
And they're also, so this is Fast 10, but it's actually going to be a 3-part film. So you're going to get 3 number 10 movies.
Yeah, it's called shit. Fast X, and it sounds like a laxative. Like, Fast X, you really want to go with that one, guys?
I mean, honestly, you're just watching shit, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the movies were made for China anyways. I mean, they're not made for American audiences. I mean, if you look at like, if you do the, whatever it is, like, I know ETEP has his breakdown of all, like, the movies every week, like how much money they made and grossed and all that stuff. Like, you'll see the Fast X movies are, like, more than double, like, what they're pulling in internationally than they are domestically.
Well, okay, so you mentioned China, all right. I'm actually on. I'm kind of leaning into the pro-China.
Oh God.
Uh, you know,
God damn it! I
viewpoint.
guess they got to you. How much did they?
Yeah,
pay
they
you?
got to you.
And
China
I
and
get in
peso.
on it because I need this book to could get a little higher.
Yeah.
So, if I can get a cut from China,
It's like, well,
you
I
know,
mean, if I
just-
can make money, I guess,
I
yeah,
mean, like,
China.
you gotta-
Yeah,
Well, that's what our
China-
politicians do.
Taiwan is China. They are not their own country.
You'll
God,
see
that
me
was
on
so
video
hard.
like John Cena.
Yeah, apologizing for calling the country of
Yes.
Taiwan a country.
So I was listening. It's funny because like I'm watching. I'm digging deep into the biggest problem in the universe, the Vito and Dick show, and I'm watching like the first episodes from like a year ago. And it's funny because one of the problems Vito mentions, I think in episode 2, is apologies to China, and he mentions like LeBron James and the Houston Rockets issue with like I think their GM saying like, "Hey, I support Hong Kong," and they got NBA got canceled for a year in China because of that. And so LeBing Bong James had to, bend the knee to his masters, which is ironic. This billionaire is a slave to China. Black people have really come a long way, haven't we? But they're talking about, they're talking about this, and it's funny because everyone's lamenting China and whatnot. And I'm actually, pro China because I'm pro Taliban because these are institutions that, economically or whatever, there's things we don't like. You don't like the like burqas and Sharia law. You don't like, internment camps in China. But at the same instance, China is like canceling all this Disney shit, all this like pandering crap they're trying to do. China's like, nope, get that shit out of our country. We like masculinity. We're not having your blackwashed characters, Little Mermaid's fucking nosediving in part because of China.
But that's also Marxism is a tool used to destroy a target company or a target country. That's what China has been using on us. Once we're destroyed, then that will get steamrolled by China to come in, and all of that, the rainbow shit and all the black this and black that goes away. All the politeness goes away. So welcoming the Chinese overlords is exactly what they want. They want you to destroy your country, demoralize you, and then they can come in and steamroll you.
No, the thing is, China, they're not letting like the whole K-pop with like, twink stars.
Yeah, that's
they're
Marxism,
like,
dude.
No. They are banning that. You're not putting that on our TV.
Exactly. Well, in China, it is a post-communist conquest country. Marxism has no place there. So once we're steamrolled, all that BTS shit, all that freaking Femi guy shit goes away. All those people get
helicopter I think rides. We should get on the China program.
But that's the plan. But that's the plan. It's like they introduce this crap to poison us from within. Then when we're all like the Trojan horse, and then when we're all poisoned and weak, and we end up imploding because that shit just isn't sustainable, then we just get steamrolled. I mean, they're literally making our army men, our recruits, dude. Remember, what was that? Walk a mile or run a mile in her
walk
shoes?
A mile in her shoes. Yeah, they're like wearing heels in uniform.
Yeah, that's to sabotage our military.
Right, but China's not doing that. China's teaching kids to disassemble weapons, and
China is doing limiting
game time. So we're not having a bunch of autism from Minecraft.
China is doing that to us. They're doing that to us. They're not doing it to themselves because they've already done that to themselves.
Right. So I'm saying we should get on the China program and get rid of all the soy.
Yeah, but then what's going to happen is that's their plan. Is once we welcome them with open arms, or we get steamrolled or whatever, then we get the people who get welded into their buildings and burned to death. We get the flying, what is it? The drones telling us that we can't go outside because it's a 3 p.m. curfew and you can't move more than 15 minutes from where you live.
Well, yeah. So like in America, yeah, we love our freedom, but we have no identity because individualistic identity. You can't really build a culture long term from that, and so this is the downside of our values: is that they destroy within.
think the deciding factor is China gonna back Raid of the White Leopard?
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah,
say.
that's
I was about to bring it in, and this is why.
I, for one, welcome her.
Brigade, but I need to get to the bare bones here of what we're talking about.
Okay,
Where's
okay, Gualo.
where's
I'll
the
tell you, I buy your book.
I think you should bring in.
Where's the payment to my bank account, and then we can talk.
I think
talks,
China.
guys.
We will contact Xi Jinping and get a contract so you can have an air convoy fly over Taiwan and drop a big payload full of Raid of the White Leopard onto Taiwanese people. They'll read this, and this is approved CCP material, and they're like, wow. Taiwan government was not giving us this. I mean, we are China. This is not Taiwan. This is not its own country. That we are a province of China, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. In the back, they'll change my logo to John Ace's Chinese comic group.
Yeah, this is red
Chinese
yellow
group.
star.
But no, like
humor.
Humor aside, no, like I think you see the point I'm making is like, Nick Fuentes. I don't know if you're a fan of him or not. I'm not really a fan, but I'm seeing good clips here and there of him that it's like he's got a point. I just saw a recent. I don't know if you're watching Red Pill guys, but Rollo Tomasi, big star, Godfather of the Red Pill. I like a lot of what he says, but he was on this chat with Pearly Things, if I'm not mistaken. And they were arguing about sexual market value. And he's like, right. So you're talking about like, all these problems women are on birth control and this like addles their brain and stuff. And you're saying like they dictate the sexual market value of men. And he's like, why are we listening to women if they're so screwed up? Like, be a man and set your own course and you'll be attractive. And he just kind of totally undercut a big chunk of like red pill rhetoric, which is like, makes the point. But on Pearly Things, it was funny talking about Russia, and he really put in perspective an angle no one takes. We were like, oh, the communists, they killed their own people. But he's like, you're talking about like essentially a dark age country in less than 100, like 50 years becomes a nuclear superpower. It's brought them out of poverty. It made them toe to toe with America for decades. A real adversary. We were funneling all these proxy wars in other countries trying to push American capitalism or communism. If you just I'm horribly paraphrasing it, but you kind of put in perspective like, he's got a point. Like, and all the people over there miss the USSR, like they had an identity.
No, they don't, dude. Like I work with people from the Eastern Bloc. Russia was a hellscape. The Soviet Union was a piece of shit. These people were still impoverished. They were just told to lie about it. They pretend to pay us. We pretend to work. Like the whole nuclear shit. You know how many people died just to get that shit? They literally threw people into outer space until one of them came back alive. Yuri Gagarin. And then they killed him.
Worthy sacrifices for the motherland.
Oh my
That's
God.
all I'm hearing. That's all I'm hearing. Those were not victims. They were patriots.
I don't want to go. Yes, you do, patriot.
I took your little plan and I turned it on its head, as the Joker would say. But no, it's arguable. It's all about perspective. And the peon plebes, they're gonna boo-hoo. We had famine and a lot of us died. Whoop-de-doo. Like, this is an age-old problem, It's like, we've spread the butter nice and evenly on the American toast, but like, who's really exceptional anymore? Versus, there's a lot of breakage, if you will, in the Russian communist system. But look how fast they skyrocketed from the fall of the czars to the mighty Soviets. I think it was worth it.
They were bankrupted in less than 30 years.
Yeah, tomato. No, it's funny because like I used to be a real a real fan of the Soviets as a kid because, like, I had no idea about politics or these arguments about how horrible they were for the general populace. I was just a big fan of the T-34 tank and K-19. You know, God, just you see it. It's like these people got a fucking identity. You know, after World War II, what is America? We're just consumers. You know, like this is where I'm at politically. It's like, yeah, like you know, these ideals that are America that go back to like Rome and Greece. It's like, yeah, it's cool.
Outlawed. Dude, the Marxism that infected our country after the fall, you know, after the Korean War and all that stuff, like generations of poison has been fed into our society. We're not even allowed to be patriotic anymore. Like you know, the whole diversity is our strength and celebrate our differences. That's a poison.
There's a video from the UK. They got all these like the asexual, and this is funny too. It's the whole biggest problem in the universe. I think episode 4 I'm watching. They're going through one of the problems Vito points out is a little too much pride, and he's going through the pride flag evolution. It's like, oh, you got this nice rainbow. It's all encompassing. It's for everybody, including allies. It's like everyone is included in the rainbow. And then he's like, all right. And then we get someone thought that wasn't enough, so they had included the triangle of trans black POC, you know, infringing. And he's like, it doesn't stop there because then they had a second triangle in the triangle of asexual. And I think there's like a fourth one he was showing where it's like, Jesus, when is this going to stop? You know, like, but they had the asexual trans pride flag in the UK, a whole bunch of them through the street. And there's someone on a scissor lift and they're taking down a UK flag in the UK. You know, you're taking down the wrong flag. And like, you don't think we know this? Like,
that's when you know your country's conquered by a foreign ideology. Yeah.
Right. And it's because our ideals of the West, generally speaking, are a Trojan horse for our enemies. You know, tolerance. This is the thing about, like, you know, freedom of speech, all these freedoms we value that, you know, I think are ethically good, but it kills you from within because then, oh, we got to include this. You got to,
no, but that's the thing is we've lost our ideals and they've been replaced with these Marxist like poisonous ones.
I don't think we've lost them. I think our ideals are our undoing. That's kind of the state I'm at.
No,
I
think they got.
I'm looking at the Taliban taking back Afghanistan. I'm looking at China. I'm like, I don't know. You know, sure, there's a lot of calamity and breakage, quote unquote, but they have an identity, and it's not going away. They are, you know, a mighty.
We had an identity too until all this new wave garbage came in.
Do you see where I'm coming from, Edwin?
He's like, I don't want nothing to do with it.
He's like, hey, China, Taiwan, back.
I came here to show a book, man.
Oh man, yeah. HK says I drop a payload in a Chinese snooch.
They didn't become the third of the world's population because the women are ugly.
I don't know, man. I'm feeling like Last Samurai. I just need to go to an Asian country and you know, indulge in their culture and become one. And you know, I feel like I need to become a race trader for the overall good of the world.
There's that piece of crap American guy that went out to Japan and he was like pissing off the Japanese dude. That freaking boiled my blood because I lived in Tokyo, man. Like I was a guest in that country.
Oh wow! And
I had nothing but, you know, like everybody was polite. I had nothing but, you know, respect or whatever. And then I see this douchebag jumping on the freaking on the trains, playing at maximum level on like his boombox, hentai orgasm moans and stuff, and then like. Then calling like Japanese people, oh, Pearl Harbor, we keep the guys with 2 bombs. You know, it's like all this shit, and it's like that country isn't prepared to deal with the degeneracy that the United States has devolved into. You know what I mean? Like the only thing good in Japan that they have with their legal system is they don't put up with this like political correctness bullshit. The average lifespan, the average time spent on death row in Japan is 90 days. That's it. I mean,
it's too long.
Yeah, if you're a piece of crap, you could actually die of old age in American death rows. Like,
I could become a PhD in prison.
Yeah, and that's
which I'm actually
unacceptable.
not against. I see the proof in the pudding. Like I was listening, someone's talking about in Australia for shorter term sentences, like good behavior, like your last year, they will let you every month have 12 hours outside of jail.
I'm on the other end of the spectrum. I think that if you fucked up and you've done it 3 times or more, yeah, you're not welcome back into society, and there'll be a little strange smell in someone's basement or
Well,
a little mound in the backyard.
I think there's a big problem with our system, especially a lot of privatization.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm super anti-privatized. Yeah, I'm anti-business with the criminal system.
Yeah, if they profit from criminals, and they're going to want, it's in their best interest to have
Right.
criminals.
They want repeat customers because they get payouts from the government for hosting them.
Yep.
That's a bad system. And also you also extort them for cheap labor for,
Or free,
airports and stuff, basically for free, paying them pennies per hour. Yeah, I have a real problem with the whole prison wage system. Like I get that you're a criminal, and so you've been isolated from society as punishment. But then if you take on work for non-prison activities, whatever your job is, I think you should get a full I don't know, I just think that's like a worker's infringement. Like you're employed and you're getting paid below minimum wage. I think that's a crime. It's like you still have rights as a prisoner, due process. I don't think you should I don't think it should be legal to extort prisoners for third party labor.
Yeah, I just have like, I look at what like a lot of times I'll look at like police videos or whatever, and I'm like, why did you guys apprehend that person alive? You know what I mean? It's like allegedly, did something. It's like, no, we're literally watching you just street sweep an entire school or whatever. Why were you apprehended alive?
Right. Well, like no, for real, like going back to the employment issue, it's like, what is the incentive? Like, what are you teaching prisoners? Like, they're already their freedom has already been reduced and virtually taken away, but they're good enough to be employed. But like, what's the incentive besides, hey, if I save up enough of these quarter per hours for my labor, I can get a couple cigarettes this month. It's like, why not like maybe in prison pay them that quarter, per, like give them a fair wage, but they only get like a quarter while they're in prison. But they can stockpile their money. That way, hey, I get out of jail, I can afford the taxi and get a hotel. I can, build myself up again. Prison, if you're getting sentence that has an expiration date within your lifespan, I think we should have something that like incentivizes not coming back.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It might be a little I've never heard anyone say this. I'm not being influenced. This is my own perception on this. Like I feel really, some people really, pro-life, anti-abortion, or they're pro-gay or pro-cop or like, I don't know. This kind of like lights my fire. This feels like a real, I don't know. This feels like against the core. And I know we had a history in this country of like the indentured servant state of Georgia. Pay your crime for however many years, and you can be a citizen again in America from England as a colony. I don't know. Like there is a reward at the end of that. It's not just making you downtrodden and lament existing. But well, I get outside a little bit. Like. I don't know. This is one of many core problems.
I think give every ex-con a podcast. That'll solve it.
Yeah, I honestly that could be productive. And be like, hey man, yeah, it's my story. I got in the clink, and here's I can be a positive role model finally, and interview people like, hey, why are you a shitbag? Let's fix that. Let me take you under my wing. I mean, some good stuff. America loves the underdog. We are an underdog story at our core.
Yeah, we were built on rebellion.
Yeah, I rebel. That's what America said. Yes, you love it, don't you?
Rogue One.
It's not in the movie. Fuck you.
Yeah, they had to rewrite the movie because the focus audience was like, this insufferable feminist garbage is not gonna
I
make a Star Wars
rebel.
film.
I love it, man. God, why did they take it out? It's such a good line
Because there were so many rewrites. Did you see remember the scene where she's on that like bridge and there's like a TIE fighter there? And it's like that wasn't even in the film. Like that whole final act.
Yeah, apparently there's supposed to be some Darth Vader shit on Scarif before the end of it. God, man. Damn.
Yeah, can we get more
Can you
of that
give
kind
us
of
a
Star
sneak
Wars?
peek, Edwin, for your like hints, whatever you got? Stretch goals, $975 away from the poster for 3K.
Oh, yeah.
Can you give us any kind of hints for number 4,000?
Avery shared a piece of the White Leopard. It's probably going to be that piece. Right now, I'm just kind of seeing kind of the best format to put it at. I'm thinking some sort of metal or foil print or something, that kind of nature. So I just got to kind of get some samples first and kind of see. But yeah, it's a pretty badass piece. I don't have it in hand right now, but
Oh, you're
you can
fine.
send it
You're
on
fine.
my Twitter.
Just wanted to
yeah,
hint. Just wanted to
I
hint.
do have a couple for like 4,000 and 5,000. I have a couple awesome pieces that are already kind of done. Just kind of about getting to that point where I can kind of, share them out. Just like with all the campaigns, I like to stockpile a lot of stuff ahead of time just in case we can get there, and then we can kind of, make sure you get more bang for your buck.
Oh,
Yeah. No, but it's funny. Yeah, like legitimately, I do like the Ace. Do you have number 3 planned? I know you're doing this campaign, but do you have number 3 planned
Yep,
soon?
it's launching in late September ish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be ready for that. Definitely DM me so I don't forget to have you back for promote the Ace, because
It's
I'm
gonna
an
be a
Ace
lot
fan.
of fun, man. Can't wait to drop more. Once this campaign ends in July, I think July 28th, it's scheduled to end. It won't be extended.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
The aesthetic. I was annoyed because I couldn't remember. I'm like, it's like Iron Man and Green Lantern, Mandalorian or Boba Fett, whatever. There's definitely like a look, especially in the helmet, very Mandalorian. You should try to do like a T-shirt, like get just a T-shirt piece of art of like people be like, oh, dude, what is that? That's not the Mandalorian. What is that? It could be a good little
I
talking
had
point.
some on the first campaign. Might maybe hit a pile, have a couple of different designs for like a new one.
Yeah. Let me blow you up, Chris. There you go.
there he is. Woo!
Yeah, HK did that, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, beautiful piece.
Yeah, I love HK's art.
Oh yeah.
I commissioned him actually the bull logo on this stream. That's HK.
Oh, that's awesome.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, the colorist. Oh yeah, I never told you the colorist. I can't remember his name right now. I have his email. But I put out in the Twitter sphere, hey, I need a colorist for this piece. DM me or send me like portfolio pictures, whatever. We'll see if I think it'll fit. And some guy I'm like, cool, yeah, you got a good art. What's your rate? Settled that. Sent him the file. He did it. Got it back to me. I'm like, hey, thanks. Got this Angus piece done by HK with colorist that guy, Hell Comics Skate or something like that. And I got blocked by the guy that I paid to. Yeah. And so once Meth Gator can be a thing, and that image will be like the image of my comic for the company, whatever, my label on the back of all my comics. I will always be tagging that guy, so people will share it, and he'll see all these other people. Even though he won't see me because he's blocked me, he'll see all the other people like, "Hey, thanks, guy. Man, that color for that piece is so cool, guy." Like,
Kill him with kindness.
yes. You worked with the Insidious Comics Gate. Yeah, that's I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Because I think an angle is not that I try to like gay ops anti CG people. I just maybe I didn't have Comicsgate in my late my brand or whatever on Twitter at the time, but you know, I'm sharing people, I'm friends with people in Comic Skate, and probably sharing stuff of theirs. So it's not like it's hidden or anything. Like I'm hiding my association with other people.
Paid work, man. Like,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not seeking antis necessarily, but yeah, I think at some point we should, you know, here and there try to gay up some of these people. Because then, like, once there's enough, like, oh, God, yeah, I did comic skate work too. They, you know, at some point, I'm like, well, I got money. They keep coming back. They keep paying me. Whatever, you know, whatever. Who cares? They're comic Nazis. Oh well, they're paying me. I like the money.
Yeah.
We'll kill with kindness. We'll make it a non-factor. You know, that's I think phase whatever phase we're in CG. This is like a phase we need to get to. Become nondescript. Not crap. Why am I clicking? That was my forearm. What a twat. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, sorry about that. I just got excited about the HK art. September, the Ace.
That's what it sounds like.
Yep, late September-ish. You know, like I said, once this campaign ends, I think July 28th, then I'll start kind of
Awesome.
you know, getting ready. I think I should get a payout in August, and then I'll start kind of looking to order the books and supplies and stuff. I'll hopefully start getting it fulfilled in November, and then said everything else is going to be just on promoting the Ace Volume 3. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. So as you know, people, the Ace delivers. I have shown you physical proof, although I'll probably back this digitally. Just got to save my money. Yeah, I'm excited to read this. I love the art. I love the atmosphere that comes with it. And it sounds like it makes me think of I'm sure it's a better example. It makes me think of like Journey to the Center of the Earth kind of trope, or like Godzilla Monster Island, something like that. Just the potential fun you can have with this supernatural island in the Viking world through their eyes. Sounds like a lot of fun. And yeah, let's get this guy. Let's get these future stretch goals. I want to see more stuff. 3K. We're gonna get this poster included.
Tag China. Let them know that, you know, I'm looking for business.
Me how ma quite low money good.
Yes,
good enough for John Cena. It's good enough for me. See?
Here at Black Angus Meth Gator followers, we like China. We want the Chinese money.
We want that long time.
And to do, you know, hey, it works for LeBron James, works for John Cena. I think
President Biden.
Yeah, there you go. I think the proof's in the pudding. Look, winners are getting China money. That's all I'm saying. But do the math. And back raid of the White Leopard. Before we go, I want to show y'all. So if you're not aware, I don't think I've showed you, Chris. Me and Rookie, the Rookie Critic, my co-host for All American Beef on Thursdays, I threw down the gauntlet like a month and a half ago. I'm like, I challenge you, foe, to a weight loss challenge. It's funny because I actually lost a little weight and he's come up. So we're both like 300, 305, give or take. I have a pretty physically demanding job, but outside of it, I don't really do a lot. So I just kind of have been coasting the last like 2 or 3 years at this job. You know, because I'm not doing the work to lose weight, but I'm doing enough work to not gain it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but I've lost weight before to join the army in the first place, 10 years ago. So it's in me. I just got to dig deep. And I think a challenge is going to help. We're going to have some money between us. And also, we're probably going to do some merch. We're going to do it's called Duel of the Fats. It's a 2-month challenge starting this Juneteenth. Appropriate, given that together we are 3/4 white. I felt that was the perfect time to start this, to kick off the celebration of the emancipation. We're emancipating ourselves from fatness. And So I don't know where I'll be putting this. It might be a thing where we just pull the money if you're buying it, and we will make this part of the pot between me and him, whoever wins this challenge of weight loss. But yeah, Duel of the Fats. You have me, Fat Angus Mall, versus Fat Rookie One Kenobi, dueling in our fat states. But I also have another artist who is going to do non-fat promo art for the Duel of the Fats. And it'll be like Civil War. It'll be Team Angus and Team Rookie. And it'll be these same kind of characters of Star Wars-fied us. You'll have a Minotaur Maul. He's going to look menacing, like the episode 1 promo posters. And Rookie will be Obi-Wan. So it'll be Obi-Wan with like a director hat. He's going to look, cool and ready to duel. So that'll be some other stuff we'll be doing shortly. You might see some promo videos, us like, talking some smack, some beef, if you will, getting ready for this challenge. I think Rookie's in for a real hurting because, yeah, I'm about to steamroll this guy.
You do like some wrestling promos? You're going to do the Steiner math?
I don't know. I don't know a lot about wrestling, but yeah, I'm thinking something like Randy Savage and Spider-Man's like, I got you for 2 months. 2 months of playtime.
No,
and then we'll probably do a secondary challenge for the rest of the year after that. So we'll have another 4 months of just sustained challenging. No. You're fatter. No, you're fatter.
You ain't fat. You ain't nothing. Do.
And then we can do next year, like weight gain challenge.
Oh, shit. The Lizzo War.
We're gonna Oprah Winfrey this shit, man. You know, Rookie.
You saying I like bread. Just...
Yeah. You ever stick a peep in the microwave?
No, that sounds like a bad idea.
No, it inflates. It just gets really, really fat.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, do they have like cow peeps? Is that possible?
That would be hilarious. Like a brown peep that has a cow
right.
head.
But essentially, me and Rookie, like I'm always flabbergasted because we're both fat. But I'm fat because I like food. I like the flavor palette of the Globo Homo market and what's available. Avocados are year-round available. That's awesome to go on my fatty American Mexican dishes. And so yeah, like, and then I hear he's like, I don't like that. I don't like that. Ew, who eats that? Ew, gross. I'm like, how the fuck are you fat? You don't like anything. I'm so flabbergasted because it's like, yeah, it's a trope that like, fat guys love food, not just the same fucking 3 meals every day. Like I'm shocked. Like it'll be the most random things where like, oh yeah, like I like avocado. I'm like, what? You hate bananas? How do you eat an avocado? And so because of that, because of the wide spectrum, and also my willingness, it's like a lot of people at work make fun of me because some lunches I'll just be eating a whole can of beans, just regular black beans. They're not seasoned. I eat them because I'll have some bad food for a while, and then I'm like, you know what? I need to eat these beans. It's good for me. It's filling, full of protein, a lot of fiber. It's all just great. Outside of meat, beans are great. And so I have in my fat state, I still have some discipline. And if I apply that to weight loss, I'm going to be pounding grapefruits, celery, fucking cans of tuna and oysters, octopus if they have it available. Like I eat almost anything if I have the willpower. I love V8 now, but before it was like, fucking tomato juice. It's good for me, so I have a medicinal viewpoint on food where I'll stomach it even if I don't like it. And this guy, Rookie, he doesn't have that. And this is going to be the real edge in my favor. He's not ready. He's not ready for this. But yeah, you know Rookie, right, Edwin?
Yeah.
Who do you
We've done
think?
scenes
Who do you
together.
think? Knowing us, knowing our interests, even though it's not really physical activity related, who do you think's got an edge?
I
Just
think
knowing
you
us
do.
person
Yeah.
wise.
I'd put my money on you.
There you go. You heard it here. Edwin
Put
the
all
Ace.
that Chinese money on you. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say Edwin
all
the
that, all
Ace.
those yuan.
Edwin the Ace is Team China, and Team China is Team Angus.
Go inside.
You're the bull. I know it's actually like the rabbit this year, but last year's the bull. I really missed out on doing promo shit with that. Pandering to China. Yeah. Gotta lean
Panda
into
ink?
That would have been a great pander for sure.
Yeah.
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 Oh, bother.
Watch this bull guy. He loves China. Wow. Man, Karen, I thought you loved me. She said I put my loony bucks on Rookie.
Shots fired.
Oh man, you're gonna be sorely mistaken. We're gonna have to have our own little side parlay, Karen. I'll come up with something. Me and Xi Jinping, we'll devise. We'll talk with the Uyghur camp directors about what's appropriate punitive measures for your lack of faith.
You'll go down quite low.
They need an Asian Jedi, like an American Asian, like he's immigrated like when he was like 30 and has broken English. Yeah, just get someone from a Chinese restaurant. Hey, you're a Jedi now.
Where is Grandpa's spaceship?
Oh, fake news. No, you don't love me. Lies. This is you're breaking my heart, Karen. As Padme would say. You are Canadian. All that Canadian bacon's gone to your brain. Fried it.
Oh, well, speaking of China, I mean, they've already got a puppet in there from China. So
No, actually, no. He spilled some secrets from backroom dealings with Xi Jinping, and they were very mad at. Yeah, Trudeau is not.
West coast of Canada is China.
He is not in the good graces of the magnificent Chinese state, the mighty Chinese state. Darth Buffet. No, Edwin, you love wrestling. It's totally out of my wheelhouse. I got out of wrestling when I was like 8. Yeah, I had like a brief, like, I don't know, 6 to 8 or 9 age range where I'm like Stone Cold and The Rock, and then Spider-Man and Star Wars. I totally forgot about wrestling.
Angelus Draven dragged me into it. These little streaming shows he's got on Wednesdays and Fridays. God damn, dude. Like, I lost interest in wrestling when WCW went off the air, but he brought me back with AEW, and I've been a big fan since. So that, and I feel represented because the current champion and heel of the entire industry in that AEW thing is a Jewish guy, so he's part of the tribe.
Oh, I wonder how that happened.
Dude, it's totally hilarious.
Totally not rigged.
No, he had a second bar mitzvah. Yes, they came in to beat the shit out of him. They're like, "This is so anti-Semitic." Like, it was hilarious.
That sounds funny. Oh man, that's good stuff. Yeah, no, Edwin, you're gonna have to, given your wrestling proclivities, you'll have to give me any pointers for smack talk and bravado.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple Scott Steiner promos that you can definitely have fun with. Yeah.
Yeah, no, send me a DM of those later. But yeah, no. Any last words? Any last words to the Chinese community?
Please, feel free to hit up my Twitter, Chinese Embassy, and let's talk business. Let's see how we can make our raid more Chinese friendly. We can do business together.
I'm actually
for you lowly Americans, you can feel free to back it too. So
yeah, I'm actually gonna look into some official Chinese Twitter for no reason. Don't worry, just
Do they even? They're not even allowed to be on Twitter.
Well, I mean, the people aren't, but the
Oh, yeah, the
officials.
state sponsored propaganda stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. The real people can be on Twitter, just not the laborers. And look, their society's doing great.
Yeah. My God. Yeah, they had
This
a pop
is
drop.
Proof in the pudding, my friend. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Get on the China program. All right. Go back on Fund My Comic Raid of the White Leopard Book 1. In the description, I'll add Edwin's channel as well later.
Yeah.
You can find his channel through the trailer on the page, though. And I'm very glad. I love how wacky the stream was after about 40 minutes talking your comic.
Sorry, Edwin.
Appreciate it. I know we were going some territory. Like, well, I'm just going to be quiet, but appreciate it. Appreciate you knuckling through some of that. Yeah, and maybe Edwin will be doing some UFO discussions on his channel. So tune in on his streams. See you later. See you Thursday, actually. Do I have a guest lineup? I might have Mexican Iron Man on. Might, just because he's really bad at scheduling. See you Thursday.
Peace.